Okay, so this is better view. If you can see him, half of him's on my tail, or my tail, my my arm already. Max, sit still, will you? So you see, he's pretty big. He's a big buddy. Yeah, he is. This is my baby. So this is actually the maximum that he's at. He's only supposed to grow to about 5 or 6 feet, and I'd show you how tall he really is. I mean, if I held him by his neck and held him down like this, his tail touches the floor and his head is like right here. So he's about 5 feet. Yeah, so and a good way to handle most snakes is not like the typical crocodile hunter, where I'll show you, the typical crocodile hunter down on the floor like this, and there's a snake on the ground, and he's like, crikey, and then he grabs him by the tail or the head. Snakes don't like that. Never do that to a snake unless you want to get bit. What you do is you pick them up from the midsection, because grabbing them by the head, I'll show you this, grabbing them by the head gets them really aggressive. And he knows me, so he knows it's okay. But, a complete stranger did this to him, he'd really flip out. He'd probably bite. And here's another thing about corn snakes. This little guy, he has teeth. Here, I'll bring him up closer. He has teeth, but they're like way back here in his throat. So it'd be pretty hard for him to bite you and hurt you. Okay, I'm going to pick him up now. He's antsy. And I was using Rex's heat lamp, even though it should have, as a source of lighting for my filming. But now, since you're not staring at my face, I'm going to show you what. This is his heat lamp. What this is a coated lamp with, excuse me, Rex, with a ceramic top. It always must have a ceramic top on it. And a good way to tell when these are broken is if this thing comes off. And I'll show you a little more of the cage. I know, honey, I know. So cage, typical things, couple basking rocks for him. Plants, but always fake plants unless you get them from a really, really good source. And you quarantine them for about a month, so they don't have mites or anything on them. And then some dead wood, and this right here is fake wood. This little tea branch. And then a water bowl. You can buy them at pet stores, but a dog bowl works as well. And plus it has a little underneath area. If you can see down in the corner there's a little hole, and Rex really loves hiding underneath that. Okay. And now, and then carpet. I have a carpet for him just because cleaning out a snake's bedding, like, you can use special bedding and it looks like hamster bedding, but never use hamster bedding because it lets off a powder and that can make your snake sick. This is a reptile carpet. And I'll show you a few more things down here. I had him when he was about the length of a pencil, so about 1 foot long, and he was about the width of it too, so he's a really tiny guy. So you can see in here, that's an old heat lamp, and this is his old hidey. Snakes and most reptiles need a hidey, which is a cage, or not a cage, a non-transparent thing like this, and they come in like, they look like logs too, just something they can hide in, so like if he's scared or he wants to be alone, he can just come down and go in here. You can go in that hole. Look, my curious little snake friend. And another thing you got to be very careful about when you have a snake is these guys just love to look for hidey holes, like even when they're not in their cages, and they go to places warm. So if you have him out here, he'll, like, in the couch over here, I've had him get stuck in a couple of things like that, and we've had to dig him out. Right? Yeah, you know you did. And so, you just gotta be careful and watch him when you're doing this. Watch your buddy. I mean, I'm not sure if he's a girl or a guy. I'm assuming he's a he. Rex, don't hide your face from the people. Come here. Here. See, he sees this as a spot with plenty of hiding places in it. That's why he's going towards it. And plus this heat lamp. Well, it doesn't have a heat bulb in it, so it doesn't work. And yeah, it's heat. And there's a lot of things to look for. Like the basket, like baskets can be hideys too. There's a lot of things I've used as this hideys. And then there's this stuff. This is aspen bedding. So you see, it's kind of like hamster bedding, but it has no powder. And never, ever, ever use hamster bedding for a snake or lizard cage. It's not good. So that is the basics of the cage, and I'm going to show you a couple other things. Like, for instance, my little buddy Rex here, who is currently trying to get on the camera. See if we can go in front of the camera. No? No, you don't want to do that? You want to go home, I can tell. I need to get a thermometer in here. He's not feeling so hot, and there's many different types of diseases, but they're very not studied well enough, since there aren't many people who own snakes. I mean, there are people who own snakes, but not enough.